Hello, welcome back to Leeds lately. Oh, suddenly I'm very low in my chair. Just give me 1 second. There we go. And then even if I relax a little bit and sit back, yeah, we're the right height then, that's perfect. Oh, tell you what I have forgotten to do though. There we go. Perfect. Welcome everybody back to Leeds Lately. Of course, today we are watching Leeds United versus Brighton at the Amex Stadium down in Brighton. I did a tactical preview on this game, talking about the strange way in which Brighton play, where a lot of the time they completely almost disregard the midfield and play straightforward, essentially, trying to force Leeds players to stay back a bit. So let's see how it works out today. Of course, Jorginho Rutter making an appearance against Leeds United for the first time since leaving. Welcome to all of our Leeds Lately members. Welcome to Peacock Whites. Welcome to Karen Curtin. Welcome to John Garside. Leicester slapped at home by Blackburn. Welcome to Ryan Tune. Welcome to all of those of you who are Leeds Lately members, and of course, welcome to all of you who are not members as well. Everybody is welcome here and a great part of the community. Today, Leeds United up against Brighton in a game which their season is one where we took a draw, they took a victory, I think. And that's the only difference between our season in terms of points. They're on 12 points, we're on 11. Where they drew, where we lost. So we've won 3, drawn 2, lost 4. They've won 3, drawn 3, lost 3. So a very similar and even start to the season, I would say, between the two teams. So there's not much to split us in terms of points on the board and things like that. I will say that, of course, they are a more experienced and well set up Premier League side for survival and for doing well in the Premier League. But it doesn't mean that on our day we can't do a job against them. Of course, we've got some excellent players in our side, like Gabriel Goodmanson, who so far for me has been an absolute standout. Jakob Yol I thought was good in the last game. Aronson had a blinder as well in the last game, one of his best performances in a Leeds shirt by a mile, other than maybe that Chelsea performance where we beat them at home. Ooh, I've suddenly gone very orange. But yeah, we could get a win today, is what I'm coming round to. Some people have been putting their score predictions in and things like that. And to be honest, I think I would agree with, I think Penny put 2-1 to Leeds. I wouldn't scoff at that. I think that's something that I might join you with, a 2-1 prediction. I think if Leeds can get the job done today, it will be a massive, massive result. Just look at Sunderland. And it's mad, really, because Sunderland on 17 points, the difference in some of our Leeds' games where we came so close and just dropped the points at the end, like we could have had 2 extra points against Bournemouth very easily. We could have got a point against Fulham very easily. That would have been instantly more points on the board, and we would have been up in maybe 9th or 10th place. So the difference so far is just getting the job done at the end of the day, and not, like, as well as you play, you've got to get the results. At the moment, Leeds United sit 15th, of course, on 11 points. Currently 6 points clear of Forest, who sit 18th in the drop zone. Fulham also struggling a little bit. Burnley only 1 point behind us as well on 10 points. So if we could get a win today, that would be absolutely massive, massive for our season. yeah, so we've got this game this weekend, and then next weekend we've got Nottingham Forest, 2:00 kickoff, and then it's an international break. So if we can get anything out of these games, especially the Forest game, considering how poorly they've started the season, that would really, really help us out. Welcome, CB. New profile picture, I see, B. But yeah, welcome everybody who's joining us. This is the Brighton lineup. Now that we've got a few people in here, let's talk about lineups. This is the Brighton lineup. Looks to be a 4-2-3-1 with Bart Verbruggen in goal. You've got Wiefer, Dunk, Van Hecke and Karioglu making up the back four. Baleba and Ayari will play in those two holding roles, although if you've seen my tactical preview, don't be fooled by the fact it's a holding role, because they will be much more progressive up the pitch. That's Baleba and Ayari. And then on the right-hand side, you'll have Yakuba Minter. Then you'll have Gomez over on the left, Jorginho Rutter in the number 10, who we all know a lot about, and Danny Welbeck will be up top. Hit the like button if you haven't already. That is the Brighton lineup. If you saw my tactical preview, you'll know how they like to almost entirely skip the midfield at times and essentially push Baleba and Ayari up further, vacating that entire midfield, so that essentially Leeds will, if they've got that many players up the pitch, we are, as Leeds, going to have to sit back a little bit and go and try and mark them, which leaves no real threat in the midfield to come back at them. So it's important that we figure out a way to play around that today. Of course, that is the Brighton lineup then, and what you all want to know is the Leeds United lineup. Lucas Perry in goal. Then you've got Jayden Bogle, Joe Rodon, Jacobillo and Gabriel Goodmanson making up an unchanged back four from the victory against West Hamage. Let me just move this up a little bit. Apologies if you hear a little bit of noise whilst I do so. In the midfield, we again stick with Ampadu, Tanaka and Longstaff. Anton Stack does not make the starting 11 again this week. Aronson over on the right keeps his position, as well as Calvert-Lewin, and Okafur as well over on the left-hand side. Let's hope that Leeds have got enough here to do a job against them. Of course, we'll be playing in a 4-3-3. Ampadu sat slightly deeper than Tanaka and Longstaff, who will be those in the more attacking positions in that midfield. When it comes to the Leeds United bench, let's have a little look at that for you. When it comes to the Leeds United bench, it is Carl Darlow, James Justin, Pascal Strauch, Ilya Gruev, couldn't think of his first name then, Ilya Gruev, Anton Stack, Jack Harrison, Daniel James, Lucas Metcher, and Joel Pirou. So, again, Nonto is not back yet. He's only been in training a day or two, according to Daniel Farker. And this is the lineup we go with. So we've just got to support them as well as we can. Here's Chaz with the stats as usual. Welcome, Chaz. Hi, everyone. We have some stats for today's game. Last 5 against the Seagulls is loss, draw, draw, loss, draw. Previous win was in March 2017. Last away win was in 2009. Overall record is 1-18, drawn 14, lost 19. Yeah, to be fair though, it's always a little bit. The previous meetings statistic is always a little bit skewed when it comes to Leeds because of that 16-year hiatus away from the Premier League. That makes a big difference. Of course, when we played Brighton, especially in 2009, that would have been a League One or a Championship clash, wouldn't it? Brighton weren't a Premier League team for a long, long time. So it's, yeah, clashes in the lower leagues. Do they really make a difference when you come into talking about the Premier League with modern, like entirely different squads, staff, coaches, everything has changed since then. But let's not put too much stock in it, hopefully, and hopefully Leeds can go and turn that around and get a victory today. It would be nice to get a victory. against Brighton. Shout out Robert Wetzel, by the way. I don't know if he's here yet, but he's on the screen at the bottom for it's $20, but I've put £20 super chat from the last stream, which actually reminds me. Hold on, I don't even have YouTube open. Let me sort this out then. Here we are. We're loaded up now. There we go. Right, now we can set a super chat goal. Let's set a little one. Small super chat goal. 5 super chats. Light blue and higher. Let's do what we did last time, but let's set it for 45 minutes this time. See if we can get it done in the first half. Leeds will break the Brighton curse. There we go. We've got a super chat goal down in the comments below. Hey, thanks, Daz. Hopefully Leeds. I don't think it'll happen very often this season, but when it does, I'll appreciate that greatly. Leeds United in the warm-up outfits, just getting ready there. Look at Jorginho; he's already smiling and enjoying himself, talking to his mascot, being nice. I miss the guy. What can I say? Be great if we had him in this squad as a number 10, having that creative player. So again, let's go through the lineups because they're doing them now. Verbruggen in goal. Vefa or Vifa. With Dunk, Van Hecke and Kadioglu. And then you've got Baleba and Ayari in the midfield. In behind Gomez, Jorginho, Rutter. Diego Gomez, Jorginho, Rutter and Yankuba Minter. And then up front, of course, Danny Welbeck. That's the Brighton side at the moment. On the bench, Jason Steele, Simas, Watson, Costulas, Buscagli, De Kuyper, Coppola, Knight and Oriola. The fact that Watson went from Sunderland and then now doesn't get a game for Brighton is quite mad, really. This is the Leeds lineup. Lucas Perry in goal, joined with a back four of Jayden Bogle, Joe Rodon, Jacobi Yol, and Gabriel Goodmanson. Then when you're having a look in the midfield, it is Ethan Ampadu just in behind Sean Longstaff and Al Tanaka. Of course, Ampadu captains Leeds. Then in the attacking trio, Brendan Aronson, Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Noah Okafur make up the US, UK and Swiss partnership. Carl Darlow, Pascal Strauch, Dan James, Joel Piroux, Lucas Metcher, Anton Stack, Jack Harrison, James Justin and Ilya Gruev make up the Leeds United substitute bench. Ethan Ampadu and Lewis Dunk having a little conversation at the moment. By the way, Leeds are playing in the weird kind of spinny scarf kit, but if you do want to get yourself any of the Leeds United kits, there might be sales on, I don't know. Check out the link to the official Leeds United store in the description down below. But if you want to support me personally more, I'm also a graphic designer, as some of you know, and I have designed loads of Leeds United artwork, prints, wall art, essentially on my Etsy store. So if you go down to the link in the description down below on Etsy, you'll see all of them designed by me. And they might be a good Christmas present for husbands, wives, kids, anyone really. So if you want to have a look, go and have a look at that down below. That would massively help me out at the moment. Yeah, Aronson had a very, very good game against West Ham. He did. He had a good game. I don't know whether it just suited him really well, what was going on, or what, but he performed well in that one. So hopefully he continues on some good form, picking up the ball and carrying it. You know, apparently Brendan Aronson is up there with the highest chance. I think he is the highest chance creator in the Premier League this season. He's created the most big chances out of anyone in the entire Premier League, which is mad. And I saw someone, I think he's a Canadian YouTuber who supports Leeds, and he said, oh no, look, Brendan Aronson, at top of the big chances created chart. I hope no one comes in and buys him for 40 million in January. Which, I mean, you'd be taking 20, wouldn't you? I think you would be taking 20. So, let me make sure that I've definitely got the timer and everything ready. Yeah, we're all set up. We just need to press kickoff whenever it actually starts. Leeds United having... on a we're off. There we go, we're off. Thank you, Chewy, as well. Leeds play the ball back to Perry there, who is going to have to clear. Early pressure here from Brighton, and a long clearance is picked up by Van Hecker, who can head it all the way back to Verbruggen. Thank you so much, Chewy Backer, for the £10 super chat. Happy day out at the seaside, everyone. Hashtag marching on together. Hashtag all Leeds, aren't we? Absolutely, Chewy. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really, really appreciate each and every one of you who leave super chats. It massively, massively helps me out. I'll leave that on the screen for a while because it was a big one. Thank you, Chewy. Here's Van Hecker into Carlos Baleba. Van Hecker again. Van Hecker with the ball down the line here towards Minter. Goodmanson's done well to tackle him because he's tricky there. Okafur tries to play it forward to Calvert-Lewin, but cut out there by Van Hecker, who's having a good season so far. Here's Yankuba Minter, gets the ball to Danny Welbeck, who drops it back off into the midfield here for Ayari. Here's Dunk. Now Van Hecker. Just need to be careful he doesn't switch it all the way out to Kadioglu, which is exactly what he does. I could see him looking for it, but Bogle goes out to try and combat that. Here's Ayari, now Baleba, back to Dunk. Brighton dominating possession in the early stages here. They really are. Here's Van Hecker. Now Yankuba Minter. Good foot there by Altanaka, but Minte picks it up again over on the right-hand side, looking to try and play the ball back to Vifa for a crossing opportunity. Here's Baleba's shot. I think it was a shot. Was really poor in the end, and it's a Leeds United goal kick. Someone let me know. Can you hear me again? Should be able to hear me now. I can see the little thing moving, so surely you can hear me. Still gone? Let me know. Here's Jorginho Rutter. Back now, thank you. Yankuba Minte down the right-hand side. It was basically a cross in the box by Okafur that was too deep that Verbruggen caught. That's all you missed. Here's Vifa across to Lewis Dunk. Now Ayari. Now Gomez. Vifa across to Baleba. Baleba with a little chipped ball. He was trying to play it into the path of Kadioglu out on the left wing, but instead it's just gone out for a Leeds goal kick. Seems to be a cat on the other desk next to me who is begging for some attention here. Oof, Jesus, that puts things into perspective, doesn't it, for Daniel Farke's time at Norwich in the Premier League. It says Daniel Farke coming here looking for his 10th victory in the Premier League. Only his 10th victory in the Premier League, and he's played 59 games. 3 of them have been with this season with Leeds. Welcome everybody who's joining us. 3 of his victories have been with Leeds this season. So before coming into the Premier League, he'd played about 50 games and got 7 wins in that time, which really puts things into perspective with how bad his Norwich side were in the Premier League. But of course, Leeds are a bit of a different proposition because we've had a bit more money to spend, and so far we've already got 3 wins. Here's Carlos Baleba. Now Jean-Paul Van Hecke. Jorginho Rutter, who's drifted out to the left-hand side, or their right-hand side, our left. Little ball down the line from Van Hecke towards Rutter. Now Gabriel Goodmanson gets a good foot in on Rutter, and it's going to be I think it's actually going to be a Leeds throw in there. Didn't look like it at first, and Rutter was like, what? But it is a Leeds throw in, and Gabriel Goodmanson's going to take it. Goodmanson still not taking this throw in. Goodmanson's always brilliant, isn't he? He always plays really well, which is why I just don't want him to ever get any injuries. Good long throw in there by Goodmanson. Header by Longstaff. Good header, actually, to Okafur. Okafur with a good, nice little turn there to get away from Vifa. That's a great ball as well by Okafur. Oh, Bogle can't get there. That would have been fantastic. If Dan James was on the pitch, he would have got that. That was really well done by Okafur. Cut inside, got away from the defender, sprayed the ball out to the opposite wing, but just couldn't get a Leeds player on the end of it. Kadioglu then to take this throw in. Back here to Dunk. All the way back to Verbruggen. No idea, Mick. To be honest, I don't really pay much attention to the youth setup most of the time. I didn't even know that they were playing it against Middlesbrough. Yeah, they are dominant, Webbs fan. They are definitely dominant, but Leeds have touched the ball once or twice. But I think it's very much a case of Leeds will be. I think it's very much that Leeds will be the ones playing on the counter-attack. Oh, Calvert-Lewin tried to win that ball against Dunk, but Dunk just used all his experience to keep that one there. Here's Van Hecke. Now Yankuba Minter. Jean-Paul Van Hecke. This is what I'm talking about. Look how high their whole team is here. They've only got Dunk back on the halfway line, essentially. Everybody else is playing as even Van Hecke is playing as a midfielder here. Ball into Jorginho Rutter. Back out wide to Yankuba Minte. It's a good ball into the box if Gomez would have been a bit more alive to it, but Perry rolls that one out for Bogle to start an attack. Here comes Bogle towards the halfway line. Leaves it to Brendan Aronson, who's going to have to come back here to Ampadu. He's got plenty of space here, Ampadu, but the whole of Brighton's team is ahead of him. Yeah, White Swan saying you've got to weather the early storm. I didn't hear it, to be fair, Robbie, and because I'm commentating and stuff. I have got the commentary on, but it's quiet and I can't fully tell what's being said or what's being chanted by the fans. I mean, Somerville got a bad response last week, but I'm not sure that was really deserved. Here's Longstaff. Perry. Oh, Leeds have given the ball away in a terrible position here. This could be 1-0 to Brighton. Terrible shot by Gomez. Oh no, Ayari it was, sorry. And Perry's able to fall on it, but really poor from Leeds. You cannot give the ball away like that. Brighton had like 4 or 5 players. I even mentioned that in my tactical preview, you know. The fact that they will just flood you whilst you've got the ball in the defensive area and really just make it really difficult for you to... Ampadu just takes a loose touch and there's 4 or 5 Brighton players on 2 Leeds players. Terrible shot in the end by Ayari, but it's a warning sign for Leeds. It's exactly what I talked about in the tactical preview. Here's Perry. Now Van Hecke. Jorginho Rutter to Vifa, and then back again here to Jean-Paul Van Hecke. Van Hecke with a long ball down the line here, but hello, I'm back. I have just seen something on the other stream, though. Here's Vifa, puts it across, 1-0 to Brighton. I saw that I just clicked on another stream. I just clicked on another stream to refresh the one I was on, and the other stream must be slightly ahead because it's 1-0 to Brighton. So that's good. We've started this game so lethargically. We aren't putting any pressure on the ball. We aren't like... It's a good pass, but it's poor from Leeds. It's such poor defending. Minte plays a nice little chipped ball through. Yeah, the cross comes across and Perry doesn't quite get there, but somebody needs to be marking the ball, marking the player who's going for the ball. It's Welbeck, I think. Yeah, Rodon and Biol, neither of them putting pressure on the ball, both of them going for a block instead. Here's Perry. Clears it long. Yeah, it's not a great start, is it? Here's Vifa playing it all the way back to Verbruggen now. Beleba, now Van Hecke. FIFA. Back to Verbruggen again. Yeah, terrible start. Again, how many times have I said over the last couple of weeks we need to stop conceding early on? Leeds nearly won the ball back in a really dangerous area there. How many times have I said in the last couple of weeks, since before the Spurs game, we need to stop conceding goals early in games and stop conceding goals late in games, because we keep doing it within the first 10, 12 minutes. We aren't really... We're so passive and we're so willing to just sit back. But it doesn't mean that you have to be... Ball down the line here. It doesn't mean that you have to be extremely attacking, but you don't just sit back like we have been. His dunk. Now Van Hecker. Yankuba Minte. Beleba. Back to Van Hecker again. Long switch by Van Hecker is cut out there by Aronson, but Aronson's header only goes straight back to Beleba. Here's Dunk again. Dunk trying to play a long ball forward towards Yankuba Minte. It's a really good ball, actually, out to the right wing. Yankuba Minte looking to try and cross it in. Good header away by Rodon this time. It's going to be a corner to Brighton. Burnley and Wolves are both one down as well, are they? It's exactly what I was saying. The commentator is saying that Leeds have got plenty of players behind the ball, but no one's actually getting out to press. Yeah, Fulham 1, Wolves 0, Arsenal 1, Burnley 0. Cross comes in from the corner. Oh, well, nearly away by Aronson, but not really. Another shot over the bar by Ayari. It's no good sniffing the screen. That won't help us score. Yeah, Ayari just tried to. He was leaning back all the time there, and it's just straight over the bar. Not bad contact, but he just gets too much on it. Here's Beleba. See, when Calvert-Lewin isn't winning any of the flick downs, like you kind of expect him to, because Dunk is winning everything, then what is he doing? Like, he's not contributing much if he's not winning knockdowns. I think Leeds are playing the ball out of play there. I think someone must be down injured. Oh no. Straight back in again, so I don't know what happened then. Here's Joe Rodon. Now Bogle. Now Rodon again. What are you looking at, eh? Long ball forward here from Leeds. Leeds can never pick up the pieces of those long balls there, though. Brighton is so quick to just win it back and knock it back to the goalkeeper and start again that it's just coming back at us all the time. Here's Dunk. Luna, you're ruining the illusion that this is a real desk. Imagine having a desk that was this high up on your chest. Here's Van Hecker asking for movement ahead of him. Now Jorginho Rutter has come deep to pick it up. Now Yankuba Minte. Here's Ampadu. BL. Rodon. Let's have a bit of possession where we actually play with it. Here's Jacobiel. Ampadu now. He's got a man on his back being tracked all the time by Beleba. Plays it out wide to Goodmanson. Goodmanson dropped back off to Ampadu. Now Rodon. You're actually going to make my microphone stop working if you keep rubbing your head on it. It'll do what it did before when it muted. Here is Altanaka. Now, good ball there by... Good ball by Bogle right across the face of goal, and just Calvert-Lewin wasn't near enough to get there. Right, you can stop rubbing your head on my microphone now. It's annoying. Yeah, Longstaff plays a lovely slotted ball through to Bogle and straight across the face of goal, and Calvert-Lewin couldn't get there. It's too far ahead of him from Bogle, really, but it's a sign. It's definitely a sign that we've got it. We're capable of scoring a goal here. It's just that we need to do that more often. That's the first time we've really gone forward with any kind of threat and intention. Here's Bogle being forced back here. Does well, though. Gets the ball to Tanaka, who's got space to give it back to Bogle. No, Aronson picks it up. Here's Tanaka. Now Ampadu. Jakobijol. Goodmanson. Jakobijol now. Tanaka. Tanaka's foot was stood on there by Welbeck, but advantage played by the ref. Tanaka goes all the way back to Lucas Perry. You can see when Leeds play it all the way back, Brighton has flood a lot of players forward trying to win the ball back off us. Here's Okafur, who's good at holding onto it. Really good pass to Goodmanson there. Goodmanson still going here. Now Aronson. Aronson with a great turn here. Pulled down there by Baleba, and it's a free kick to Leeds. Anton Stack obviously on the bench at the moment, so he can't come on and help. But free kick to Leeds in a fairly decent position, if we had any set-piece takers. I don't know if that was actually a foul, you know. I think Aronson just kind of like missed the ball and then fell over. But Leeds have got a few players over the ball. Looks like Longstaff and Tanaka. I think it might be Longstaff. It's a long way out for a shot. Goodmanson and Longstaff are the ones stood over it. But even if you can get the knockdowns, if you can get it on target and get the goalkeeper to spill it into the area, terrible. Longstaff just hoofed it into Rosed. That's not good. Yeah, poor that. Really poor. Here's Verbruggen. To Van Hecke. See, the thing is, Calvert-Lewin can't just go and press on his own like he was trying to do there, because you're just going to get played around. Leeds have won the ball back, though. Good tackle by Goodmanson. Ampadu now to Bogle. Rodon, Ampadu. Good ball by Rodon back out wide to Bogle. Good ball through to Longstaff, who wins Leeds a corner here. We know now that Leeds are a threat from corners. Of course, Lewis Dunk is very good at defending corners, but Leeds have a corner kick. They have Jakobijol, Joe Rodon, no Anton Stack, but there's a few other players who could are well capable of getting ahead on this. Yeah, we've started. It's almost as if we had a goal. That was a kick. Like, we conceded a goal, and that was a kick up the arse enough for us to actually go and start creating stuff. Cross comes in from the corner. Back across here. Leeds trying to get it before it's cleared. Aronson back out wide to Longstaff, the taker. Longstaff under pressure has given the ball away to Ayari, and now there's a counter-attack here as Jorginho Rutter sprints up the left-hand side. Looking for options here. Good tackle by Ethan Ampadu. Now Bogle. Bogle sends that one long up towards Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin is going to say that he was fouled there, but no, he keeps the ball. Here's Aronson. Aronson still coming forward here. Aronson, that time, is just too weak to hold on to it. Poked out wide by Danny Welbeck. Can Minter keep it in? No, he can't. Yeah, I think Longstaff used to play county cricket as a kid. Like he was on his way to becoming probably close to being a pro, apparently. Here's Tanaka. Make sure you hit the like button if you haven't already. Here is Jakobijol. Get your feet off my screen, please. Here's long fall forward there from Longstaff, but again, it's just too long and it's going to bounce out for a goal kick. Here is Verbruggen. Coming forward again here. Oh, it's a really good bit of play, but dealt well with by Goodmanson in the end, as it could have been them going through. Here's Longstaff. Now Bogle. Ampadu. Now Rodon. Ampadu again. Plays the ball out wide to Goodmanson here. Leeds needs to try and do something useful with the possession each time we have it, rather than just playing it around at the back. I know we're looking for ways forward, but at times it does look like we're just kind of playing it around for no good reason. Here's Beale. Now Ampadu's going to have to go all the way back to Perry here. Beale. Longstaff into Goodmanson. Goodmanson's pass intercepted, but it does go out for a Leeds throw in. Good ball forward there by Leeds. Here's Okafur over on the left wing. Okafur's done well to go past his man there, and then that's a foul by the Brighton player. Surely to God, ref. Jesus, the refs in this league. The refs are awful. What was that? I can't believe that he didn't give him a free kick for that. That's shocking. The thing is, it's one of those situations where, yeah, he actually got the ball, but you can't scissor people's legs. Like, even if you get the ball, that's in the rules now, that you can't, like, chop people's legs like this. And that's what he did. He's just going to be a goal kick to Brighton here. Or they're going to kick the ball back, I don't know. Is it Michael Oliver? To be fair, Leeds have a poor record most of the time in the Premier League, so... Here's Verbruggen. Long hoof forward. Bogle against Kadioglu. Wins the header. Here's Kadioglu again. Ball inside to Welbeck. Welbeck's going to... Oh, he nearly was going to shoot from distance, but Tanaka's done so well there. Now Okafur coming forward. Okafur with a good pass towards Brendan Aronson. It's sliding tackle there by Duncan. It's going to be a Leeds throw-in just in front of the halfway line. Here is Joe Rodon again. See, honestly, the first 10 minutes we were really poor and we didn't put any pressure on anything, but we've grown into the game so much. Why can't we do that from the start instead of bloody losing our instead of losing the even standing at the start of the game by conceding a goal? Here's Tanaka. Oh, we're buffering. That's not good. 1 second, guys. We're buffering, and I would like to actually see what's happening. Let's try the other one. I'm going to have to change the... There we go. That's what we're on. Here's Tanaka. Plays the ball out wide to Goodmanson. Here's Ampadu. Longstaff back to Biyol. Now Ampadu, Tanaka. Back again to Biyol. Goodmanson back to Tanaka. Leeds are struggling to play through Brighton. Here's Aronson. Tanaka. Rodon. We need a bit of impetus. Somebody to just carry the ball. And here's Tanaka. Tanaka with a... See, that's exactly what you need. Great ball by Tanaka out to the left wing for Okafur. Now, Okafur is somebody who, yes, always tries to go forward. Good ball into the box, away by Van Hecke. Picked up by Goodmanson on the edge. Goodmanson feels like he was fouled, but Leeds are still going. Another crossing by Okafur towards the back post. It's going to be a Leeds corner kick. That's what we need. Tanaka just looked up and he saw that Okafur was in space over on the left wing and he just switched the ball. As simple as that. You know for a fact that Okafur's not the type of player who's just going to be like, oh yeah, I'll just turn around and go backwards. He's always trying to go past someone and create something, and he goes past someone again and puts a cross in the box. So it's good to see that Okafur's always willing to try and beat a man. Corner kick then for Leeds. Longstaff with one arm up. Ball in. Knocked straight back out by Goodmanson to Longstaff again. Apparently Longstaff was offside. So that was one of the worst corners I've ever seen then. He's doing well, Okafur. I like that. I like the way he wants to always try and go past people. Here's Van Hecke carrying the ball forward into Jorginho Rutter, who came a bit deeper for it. Jorginho Rutter fouled there by Okafur. Here's Minte out on the right-hand side. Now Van Hecke. That's awkward. Leeds apparently created double the amount of chances that Brighton did throughout the whole month of October, and they outscored us by quite a bit. So that details where some of our problems lie, doesn't it? It really does. Here's Van Hecke. Sorry, that's not Van Hecke. That's Lewis Dunk playing a ball out to the right wing, headed away by Goodmanson for a throw-in. To be honest, when we are in the same... You kind of want Man United to win against Forest because Forest are down in the relegation zone. That's the thing, isn't it, really? At this stage, you're having to kind of dispense with your morals and want Man United to win if they're playing against Burnley, if they're playing against Forest, Wolves, West Ham. Just because we're so desperate to survive. Good header away by Rodon as Brighton try and have a little bit of... another chance for attack here. That's going to be a Leeds goal kick, though. I didn't know that's where he'd come from. Diego Gomez came from Inter Miami, apparently, and had played alongside Messi and Suarez in an attacking front three. Oh, ball into Welbeck here. Welbeck's going to shoot on the edge of the box, and it's just the time I've lost connection. Oh, he missed. It just skipped that whole shot, apparently. Thanks. Yeah, he went to shoot from the edge there, Welbeck. Yeah, wide. Yeah, I think Perry had that covered. Oh, Longstaff fouled there by Baleba. It's going to be a free kick to Leeds just inside the Brighton half. See, the thing is, since they scored, Leeds have been so much better. But still, 6 attempts on target for Brighton, 1 attempt for Leeds. 2 shots on target for Brighton, 0 on target for Leeds. That's where our problems lie. That ball across the box there from Bogle was really, really good. Tell you what we haven't particularly been able to do, though. Good hold-up play here by Calvert-Lewin, although he's ran it out for a throw-in to Brighton. Gabriel Goodmanson hasn't been able to get himself in the forward positions that he usually does, where he is like creating his chances through crossing the balls into the box and stuff. Here's Ampadu playing that one all the way back to Lucas Perry. Now Rodon. Rodon still carrying it here. No one really putting any pressure on him. Aronson, Jesus, man. Rodon ran all the way to the halfway line, passed the ball to Aronson. Aronson took 1 touch and it was terrible. Then he lost it, and it was a 5-yard P-roller of a pass, and he took a bad touch and lost the ball. That was really poor. Here's Bogle. Little chipped ball forward. Biol takes a bit of an odd touch there, but he gives himself a chance to clear it, and it's going to be a throw into Brighton. Yeah, look, I don't think Lightning was going to strike and Aronson was going to have 2 good games in a row. He's bloody Froz again. Red card for Wolves. Agbadu. Still 1-0. Here's Rodon. Now Lucas Perry. Little chipped ball out to Gabriel Goodmanson, who's lost it there because it was a bit of a loose pass. Bogle's going to have to deal with this. And he wins Leeds a goal kick. Good bit of play by Bogle. The commentary seems to have disappeared on this feed. Oh, well, I'm doing my own, aren't I, anyway? He's Perry. He's given the ball to a teammate to take a goal kick, which is, I must say, very Sunday League. Goodmanson with a header. Now Okafur loses the ball. I think he was coming back from an offside position there, Welbeck. Yeah, he was, and it's a free kick to Leeds. I don't think that... Yeah, but we've been playing well. That's the difference. In terms of our overall performance, we look like a Premier League side. And the amount of points that we've got is we're on track to stay up. That's what you want, essentially, from this whole season, which is sad because you want a fun, entertaining season, but that's a free kick there. Gabriel Goodmanson was fouled. Yeah, Dan James over on the right-hand side to stretch the play. Hi, Tim. Welcome. Here's Tanaka. Now Rodon. Rodon plays the ball forward into the feet of Calvert-Lewin, and first time pass from Longstaff is read very well by Kadioglu, who Jaden Bogle was chasing it, but he plays it back to Verbruggen and clears it long. Leeds win the ball back though. Here's Goodmanson. Now Yakubiyol. Ampadu. It's a loose pass from Ampadu again, and Goodmanson does just enough to get there. They put a lot of pressure on you, Brighton, and Leeds at times are just getting away with it. And they nearly scored off it earlier. They've just picked the ball up off us as well from pressing, like I just said. Here's Diego Gomez, goes to shoot, good block by Leeds. But again, Leeds have got to stop giving the ball away in those areas. Tanaka with the ball out wide here towards Calvert-Lewin, but again, it's just a hit and hope. Here's Van Hecker. Now Belabor, back to Dunk. Van Hecker again. Cut out there by Tanaka, and Leeds have got a chance to come forward. Here's Longstaff, just instantly tackled. Rodon, though, back into the feet of Tanaka, who's got a bit of space to play the ball out wide to Okafur. He's got Goodmanson going beyond him. Okafur probably should have played that ball. Now Ampadu. Good ball by Ampadu, though, out wide to Bogle. Bogle can look to get the ball in the box. He's waited too long, though. I'd have been whipping that ball in straight away. Tanaka. Back to Rodon. Ampadu. His pass has been cut out, and now Brighton are going to want to come forward here. Minte in a foot race against Biol. We all know who's going to win that, and he's coming at Biol now, trying to make a chance to shoot. Biol still trying to stop him, and he's just missed Minte there. Leeds were very, very lucky. It's decision-making. It really is decision-making. But in that early stage there, Bogle should have whipped the ball in the box, and they never would have had the chance to counterattack. They were waiting to spring that trap. Perry would not have saved that if it was more accurate to where he was aiming it. Here's Tanaka. Long ball out wide towards Okafur, but cut out by Weaver. Now Ampadu. Back to Yacobiel. Now Lucas Perry. Rodon. Sorry, not Rodon, Longstaff. Ball forward by Lucas Perry here towards Calvert-Lewin, who flicks it on for Aronson. Oh, Leeds just can't quite keep hold of it in those attacking situations. I want to see Dan James over on the right-hand side in the second half, and I don't think that Calvert-Lewin's been any good either, so maybe Metcha. Or, do you know what? At this point, we've tried Metcha and we've tried Calvert-Lewin, and neither of them have particularly done anything great for us. So why not give Joel Peru a chance? Because he hasn't really even had a chance in the Premier League yet, has he? He hasn't really had a chance to do anything for us, to even get minutes. So for me, I think it would be a great opportunity for him, a game like this. You're 1-0 down, you just want him to put a shot on target, really, and he's the most likely to do so. Free kick to Leeds here. Ampadu, Longstaff, Yacobiel. Now Rodon. Cleared that ball down the line, straight into touch. It's really poor a lot of the time. And do you know what? Rodon's getting frustrated as well, I can tell, but why don't we do like what we did against Newcastle, where basically we were like, do you know what, these are a better side than us. Every single time that we get the ball at the back, we're going to send a long ball forward towards Calvert-Lewin, who's going to get people in and around him to try and pin them back a little bit, try and make them think twice about pushing so many players forwards. Why don't we try something a bit different? Because at the moment, all we're doing is trying to play it around at the back and inviting pressure onto us to the point where we lose the ball and potentially give away shooting opportunities. So we should at least try something different. Leeds might have a break here, though. Here's Aronson over on the right-hand side. Pokes it down the line here towards Calvert-Lewin. It's taking Calvert-Lewin wide, but if you can get a good cross in, Leeds have got a chance. Crossed in towards the back post. Headed away there by Brighton, and they've come away with it without even giving away a corner here. Here's Jorginho Rutter. Gives the ball to Danny Welbeck. Brighton on the charge here. Still going Danny Welbeck. Terrible pass from him in the end. Picked up by Biol. Oh my God. And then Ampadu's just given the ball straight to a Brighton player. We've got to be better than that. We've got to be better than that. There's been moments in this half where we could have scored, but the defending is what is worrying me, and the build-up play. We're not doing the things that you should do. Yeah, but I'm not talking about that specifically, Chewy, because that's good what he's doing. Because I think it needs sometimes a switch of play to spread the ball massively helps you to switch the point of the attack. But I'm talking about every time Lucas Perry has a goal kick or Yacobiol or Joe Rodon have it at their feet. Don't just lump it aimlessly, but aim for Calvert-Lewin's head and then get players in and around him on the knockdowns. Get Aronson, get Okafur to play or to go beyond him even. If you've got Dan James on, you can afford to have Dan James essentially be there for Calvert-Lewin to like flick it backwards. That's a really good pass by Calvert-Lewin. Here's Okafur over on the left-hand side up against Baleba. Going across the ball into the box. Here's Aronson waiting to shoot. Plays the ball across. Longstaff over the bar. I think he might have had a deflection off a defender there and been a corner kick. 1 minute added on to this first half here. But Leeds, if Aronson hadn't ended up with his back to goal there, then it could have been 1-1 there. Good pick out, and then it is a block there by Van Hecker. Otherwise, that could have been in, you know. It would have been in, I think, off Longstaff. It's that Van Hecker got a block on it. But come on, wouldn't it be amazing to get a header right now, just before half time? I think Biol's been decent, really, but it's just that's a short corner there. Goodmanson gets the ball back to Longstaff. Why aren't we just whipping it in the box? It's a free kick to Leeds and another chance. This time, put it in the box. The corner was like, I don't know. They put it so. It wasn't a short corner, but it was like a little tapped corner to the front post. But anyway, Leeds have now got out on the left wing a chance to cross the ball in the box. Now, Okafur is available on the edge, but I do want to see him just put this in the box. And he does. Straight towards Verbruggen, who catches it. Just put it in the box off the corner first time. That's the half-time whistle then. As per usual, I am just going to quickly go and fill my water bottle up and things like that. Probably feed the cat. And I'll be back very, very soon. Get your comments in the chat about that first half. Hit that sub button if you haven't already. And I'll be back very shortly. Hello. I'm back. Oh. Hello, hello, hello. Don't think the audio was working there for a second. Right. Right, here we go. That's true. Need to be doing better than we are. No excuses. Absolutely. Yeah, they conceded one. We are still in the game. Brighton are good. Maybe route one with Metro or Piru later on. Yeah, that's what I mean with Dan James being out on the right-hand side to run in behind would massively, massively help us out. Yeah. Aronson's been really poor. He's gone from hero to zero. Last week he was really, really good, and this week just really poor. Really, really poor. So it's important that we make subs when they actually need to be made. What I will do is I think that start another super chat goal. There we go. Yeah, look, I think Aronson needs to come off on that right-hand side, which means like again. Hello, hello. Should be able to hear me now. Should be able to hear me back again. Yeah, I think I was going to say that I think Metcher is too similar to Metcher is too similar to Calvert-Lewin, and Piru at least offers you something a little bit different. But yeah, you could have him coming on as well as and linking up the play, but I think it's more about what Farker will do, and I don't think he'll go off. I think he'll just stick with a 4-3-3. I don't know, Chewy. It's hard to figure out which is which. If there's only two components and one of them's failing, it's hard to tell which is which. So I hope it's not a new mic, because this mic is expensive. But I can't imagine it's not really been knocked around or anything. Right, here we are. I've tightened everything up. The microphone's tightened on the stand. The cable itself is a bit more tight in there, I think. Should be all fine now. But yeah, let's make some subs, please, Mr. Farker. Because at the moment, see, I don't even remember Mauricio Pochettino being Chelsea manager. They're showing like 2023, 2024 highlights. Yeah, it is Chewy. It's a Sure SM7B. Half time is so long, isn't it? I think that maybe if you refresh it, CB, because it's not out of sync for me. Yeah, I don't think it is. It's hard to tell, though. Either way, let's hope this bloody game starts again soon. God, it takes so long half time, doesn't it, when you sat around waiting for it. Oh, there's one thing I can do. I can sort out the... I can reset that. Set it to second half, set it to 0. There we go. Apparently, Danny Welbeck, 1 shot, 1 goal, 2 shots, 1 on target, 14 touches in opposition box 2, distance covered 5.1 kilometres. That's really odd, that, because I don't know why it would have any kind of delay, because it's all being put into the same. I don't know who either of those are, Goz, I'm afraid. In the other games around the grounds, it's half-time. Palace 1, Brentford 0. Forest 0, Man United 1, Burnley 0, Arsenal 2, Brighton 1, Leeds 0, Fulham 1, Wolves 0 with a red card. Apparently, Leeds have had a lot more attacking threat in terms of like the attacking momentum graph than what Brighton have had in that first half. It's just that we can never actually do anything with it. Oh, Metallica and Iron Maiden. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I've heard of the bands, but I haven't heard of the individual people within them. Robin Hood said, I didn't expect a point today, different class of player. Yeah, look, they're a very good side, Brighton, but because they're Brighton, they always seem attainable. Like a victory against Brighton kind of seems like it could be a possibility, but they are very good. They haven't had a great start to the season. They haven't had a great start to the season, but in total, they're a very good side. Players are heading back out onto the pitch now, or at least the Brighton players are. Doesn't look like there's been any changes from a Brighton perspective. I would be the type, if I was a manager, I'd be the type of manager that would make substitutions at half time, because sometimes it's about affecting the game. I suppose coming on as there's a psychology to substitutes as well, isn't there? I think if you come on at half time, it's like the sub can't maybe have as much of an impact because they're not. Everybody's almost on a level playing field when you start at half time. Everybody's had a rest. Whereas you bring someone on the 60th minute, everybody who's played the first full half has had another 15 minutes to kind of get tired again. And then you're bringing on a Dan James. But would you not rather have him on for more time, give him more of a chance to affect the game? Don't know. It's the pressure they put on us when we're trying to play out from the back, to be honest. It's a year tomorrow since Brighton last lost from being 1-0 up. Okafur's been on for the whole first half. White Swan. Just getting ready for the kickoff here. Press the button. We're underway here in the second half. Long ball forward from Brighton early on. Flicked on by Welbeck. Headed away by Bogle. And away by Rodon. Longstaff down the line for Tanaka. Tanaka into the... tries to play it into the feet of... This commentator keeps getting confused between Aronson and Tanaka. And their haircut's not that similar. There's a lot more flop to Tanaka's hair because Aronson's got a headband on. Here's Van Hecke. Now Ayari. All the way back here to Bart Verbruggen. Now Dunk. Good pressure there by Tanaka. It's meant it's going to be a throw into Brighton, but Kadioglu's going to take this one. Forest have equalised. Kadioglu then with a throw-in to Van Hecke. Aronson so close to winning the ball back off Van Hecke, but Van Hecke's so strong there. Now Jorginho Rutter with a great ball out wide to Minte coming towards the Leeds box. Here's Minte looking to try and open it up. The shot from Van Hecke in the end, straight into the gloves of Perry. Thank God it fell to their centre half and not one of their forward players there. Yankuba Minte, he looked like at one point he could just open up to shoot himself, but he gave it to Van Hecke, who just kind of awkwardly swung a leg at it. Lucky for Leeds in that situation. Here's Goodmanson. Still going there. Now passes the ball back to Tanaka. Tanaka slipped there. He's done well to still survive with the ball. Here is Okafur. Okafur goes past his man again. Okafur with the ball across the box, headed away by Van Hecke. Good ball across. Terrible ball into the box, though, from Goodmanson. Caught by the goalkeeper. Palace 2-0 against Brentford. Collins' own goal. Thanks, Chaz. Here's Verbruggen. Ayari now to Van Hecke. The difference, I think, between a lot of the Championship sides and a lot of Premier League sides is how comfortable they are playing the ball out from the back while still being pressed and under pressure. Leeds, a lot of the time, look a little bit panicked. We need to get used to it, I think. But we do look a bit panicked when we get pressed, and Brighton just seem to be very cool, calm and collected when playing out from the back. Here's Danny Welbeck. Good little roll there by Ayari. Now, Dunk back to Ayari. Oh yeah, I forgot he was Swedish, Ayari, so if he's played for the national team, he'll probably know Gabriel Goodmanson. Here's Jorginho Rutter. Rutter goes to shoot from miles out and just past the post. It's a decent strike from Rutter. I never saw him shoot with that much power for Leeds. With hardly any kind of swing at it, he got so much power behind it. Never saw him do that for Leeds, I don't think. I hope so, Mr. P. I hope so. They're not impossible to score against Brighton. We've shown that there can be holes to be found in the first half. We just need to put one in the back of the net and then we want an even keel then. Here's Kadioglu. Now Van Hecke. Here's Danny Welbeck. Looks like apparently Danny Welbeck's dropped a bit deeper and Yankuba Minte and Jorginho Rutter have gone a bit further up. At least according to the commentators. Here's Dunk. Now Baleba. Van Hecke. Out wide now here to Yankuba Minte. Okafur and Goodmanson trying to double up. Cross into the box away by Rodon. Good flick on by Aronson to get it further away. Here's Baleba. Back to Lewis Dunk and now Van Hecke again. Here's Van Hecke. Van Hecke with a long switch out wide to Diego Gomez. Kadioglu, can he get it across the box? That's going to be a Leeds goal. That should have been a Leeds goal kick, that. That should have been a Leeds goal kick. Goodmanson played it against Welbeck, I think it was. Yeah, ball down the line, across into the box, and then Goodmanson gets there ahead. Oh, no, it came off Jorginho Rutter. It should have been a Leeds goal kick. That's going to be very disappointing. If they score this and that wasn't a corner, it was a goal kick, then it's going to be... Oh, it's bouncing around everywhere and Leeds are going to leave it for a goal kick. Thank God that didn't go in, because the injustice of it, if it had. Here's Tanaka. Now Lucas Perry. Yakabiyol. Back to Perry again. Send it long now. That's it, Lucas. Leeds still managed to come away with the ball here with Longstaff. Now Gabriel Goodmanson coming over to the left-hand side. Now Okafur. Okafur with a good cross in towards the back post. Bogle can't quite get there. Good play, though, by Okafur again. Edging closer. Yeah, good ball in. Good run by Bogle, but Leeds just need to be... Those fine margins... Long ball forward. Goodmanson clears that one away. Brighton looking for their first clean sheet of the season. Leeds hold my beer. Yeah. Oh, Minte's gone past Goodmanson there, but Ampadu swept up nicely. Perry is... I don't know what he was doing there, but here's Okafur. He's done well, and it's one Leeds a throw in. Well done, Okafur. Song lyrics of a Chronica. There is no Blue Jays in this game. It's the Peacocks versus the Seagulls. So great ball. That is good switch. Bogle carrying the ball down the right hand side. He's got space to run into. He's just been tackled by Diego. What's he called? Diego Gomez. Yeah, but and Leeds have now lost the ball. That was a really promising counter-attack there, but Bogle just kind of got tackled straight away. Here's Van Hecke. Now Yankuba Minte with a really good ball forward, but Yakabiyol does come and sweep that up. A really good outside of the foot pass there by Minte, but Biol does well on the cover. Here's Jorginho. He's nutmegged Tanaka, but also passed it to Tanaka. Here is Ampadu. Bogle back to Ampadu. Ampadu trying to carry it forward. Good ball from Ampadu into Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin's done really well there and got fouled, but Leeds are going to continue here. Good ball by Tanaka out wide to Okafur. Okafur trying to go past Wiefer. He's gone past him every single time, Okafur. Saved by Verbruggen in the end because Okafur's cross wasn't quite good enough, but... Now they're going to try and counter-attack here. Kadioglu out to Welbeck on the left. Leeds have got so many players around them that he forced them to play out into touch. Okafur is going to go past Vifa every single time, you know. Okafur, Okafur seems to be going past him every single time. I honestly think that Aronson's more of a midfielder than a winger, so he spends a lot of his time not really being that much of a threat because he doesn't try and play off the last man. Dan James, I think, would stretch the game a little bit. Oh, it's got to be Aronson off for Daniel James. That's the side that it works on, I think. That's the side it fits. It just makes sense to do it. Here's Van Hecker. And probably in the next 5 minutes or so, I would like to see it. Here's Dunk into Ayari. It's a really good ball from Ayari, and now Leeds are going to have to get back. Here's Kadioglu. Plays it to the edge of the box. Really good defending there by Tanaka. Really good defending by Tanaka. In the end, Gomez got a shot off, but comfortable for Perry. Tanaka did really well to get back there and just put off the rhythm of their attack. Here's Yakabiyol. Now Tanaka. Biol. Long ball forward here towards Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin looks like he's onside here. He's in the box, Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin, man. If you can't hold the ball up, what year for? Calvert-Lewin does well there, though. Shoots! Just past the post. Yeah. Yeah, it's with the outside of his foot there, Calvert-Lewin, that shot from the edge of the box, and it's always going to be swerving away from the goal. I think this. Oh, Anton Stack is getting ready to come on, and so is Dan James, which were two of the substitutes that I said might make a difference in this game. I tell you what, though, it feels a bit better, doesn't it, having the options of bringing on Anton Stack and Dan James. That feels like substitutes that could impact a game. That's like a strong couple of bench players to bring on, isn't it? Here's Okafur. Okafur gone past Vifa again, and one Leeds a corner kick. Come on, Leeds. It's not going to be before this corner, so Longstaff is going to take this corner before the subs come on. I think there's a bit of pushing and shoving going on in the box. I think Ampadu was knocked over, apparently, by Danny Welbeck. Longstaff then with the corner kick. Longstaff whips the ball in. This is a better delivery. It's a bit deep, headed out to the edge. Here's Aronson who can pick it up. See, if Aronson can go down the line, see, he always wants to go backwards, Aronson. Here's Okafur. Now Joe Rodon picks up the ball in the middle of midfield. Tanaka. Yeah, Brighton are sitting a little bit deeper here. They are coming out as Leeds play backwards, though, so let's make sure we don't do too much of that. Here's Tanaka. Now Bogle. That's going to be a throw into Leeds. See, do you see how, if those of you who are watching the game, do you see how when Leeds are attacking, they send somebody to go and deal with the person who's got the ball? We didn't do that in that first half. Stack is off. Oh, and Dan James is off as Tanaka's off as well, who I thought was one of our better players. So it's Dan James who's come on. I imagine not in the middle of midfield. I think Aronson will have gone into the midfield to provide a bit more of an attacking midfield threat, but here is Aronson. Here's Ampadu. Now Biel. Goodmanson. Okafur. Okafur's had his foot stepped on there, I think. It's going to be a Leeds free kick. Yeah, hit the like button, everyone, if you haven't already. And we needed to change. Well, isn't that very appropriate that there's two seagulls flying in front of the camera? Oh, good play there by Ampadu, getting there ahead of Yassin Ayari. It's going to be a throw-in, though, here to Brighton. Yeah, make sure you hit the like button, everyone. And if you haven't already and you're new here, hit that subscribe button to become part of the community as well. Here's Kadioglu. Throwing back here to Lewis Dunk. Oh, apparently he had a broken finger as well, Stack, as well as rib issues. Yeah, I don't know. Aronson in the midfield. Aronson stayed on, so it was Tanaka and Longstaff that went off. Stack came on, and somebody else as well. Dan James. Here's Kadioglu. Now Dunk. Now Van Hecker. Oh, they've given the ball away straight away. Here's Anton Stack with his first touches. Plays the ball to Okafur. Okafur's foul, just pulling FIFA back. I mean, he didn't, but... Here's Dunk. Now Kadioglu. Come on, Leeds. Half an hour to make a difference. Even if we could... Honestly, 1-1 out of this game, you're taking it going into the Forest game, aren't you? Like I've said, you need to put a point per game to survive in the Premier League, and if we can get a point out of a game like this, you're very happy. Here's Yankuba Minte trying to put the ball across the box. It's 2-0. 2-0. Yeah, Minte absolutely skinned Goodmanson, played it across the box, and I think somebody let it through their legs, and he just put it in the back of the net. Yeah. It should be, Clive. It should be. But that's this game away from us, though. Yeah, he just gets away from Goodmanson. It's really good from Jorginho, you know. I think it's actually an assist from Jorginho. I think his foot touches it. Yeah. Well, oh, I think Calvert-Lewin's just come off as well, by the way. Who's come on for him? Lucas Mecha is now on, by the way. Well, Lucas Metra's on. Let's hope he can get a goal. Look, half an hour with whatever additional time there is enough to score 2 goals, but not with the way that we've been creating chances. Well, apparently we've got a bit of a wait because the referee's assistant needs another radio or something. We're underway. He's Anton Stack. Now Aronson on the turn here. Bogle. Dan James hasn't touched the ball yet, by the way. Here's Ampadu. Rodon. Ampadu. Stack. Back now to Biyol. Oh my God. I wish people would stop trying to say tactically inept. It's not a good tackle there by Okafur, but he's lost the ball again. It's not about whether he's tactically inept or not, is it? He's obviously not tactically inept. He obviously knows what he's doing. I feel like everybody just learned the word inept recently and wants to use it all the time, but we're on a good amount of points for the position we're in at the moment this season, and Brighton are a very difficult side to beat. Maybe some selection choices like starting Aronson, but we've had the chances to score goals in this game. We need to our players need to start executing what he's setting up, because we have had the opportunities to score in this game. Here's Ampadu. Biyol. Charging forward here. Now Anton Stack. Rodon. Ampadu. Looks like we might be going 3 at the back, or Ampadu's just going to sit back a little bit more. Metra. Back off to Stack. Now Aronson. It's a lot of Stack playing the ball into midfield and then them just keep giving him it back here. It's here's Yakubiyol, who's going to have to go all the way back to Lucas Perry. Dan James still hasn't had a touch of the ball, by the way. Dan James has been on for nearly 8.5 minutes and still hasn't had a touch of the ball yet. Obviously, through no fault of his own. Nobody's passed it to him. Nobody's even tried anything on his side. What's the point making a sub if nobody's going to try and pass the ball to him? Here's Verbruggen. Here's Van Hecker. Across now to Dunk. Ball forward there from Dunk. Rodon's going to wipe that up. Now Perry. Chipped ball towards Bogle, but he's given it straight to Jorginho Rutter. Now Bogle's just given it straight to Jorginho Rutter in the box. Ball across. 3-0. For someone who'd never come from the MLS and never scored a goal in the Premier League before, he's now scored 2 in one game. That was shocking. That was shocking. Set up by Jorginho Rutter. It's the stupid mistakes, though, isn't it, as well, that are the problem. Like, why is Bogle doing that? He's just giving the ball to Jorginho. Even the shot even hit a couple of Leeds players on its way through and still went in. Yeah, Goodmanson's unlucky not to get the blocking, but I don't know what Bogle was doing. Why is he trying to knee that? Just head it away. That's going to be offside against Brighton. Free kick to Leeds. What's Strout got to do with anything? Here's Bogle. Here's Lucas Perry. Clears that one. Up towards Dan James. Headed away by Kadioglu, though. Well, it's a really good touch there by Danny Welbeck, and he's gone past Bogle. Looking for a pass here. Here's Ayari. Now Baleba. Van Hecker. The delivery, there is individual performance issues as well, though. Longstaff's delivery, every corner, every free kick, the delivery was absolutely woeful today. The Bogle put a ball right across the face of goal. Calvert-Lewin's one job, and he's not there to finish it off. Like, there has been moments and opportunities where we've just done a Bogle with so much space to run into the box, and he just gave it straight to Kadioglu. Here's Lucas Metcher. Aronson trying to chase that one down as Metcher got tackled, but here's Verbruggen. Gomez has just gone past Ampadu, and now Ampadu's brought him down for a yellow card. It's a frustration, that, as well. Can't believe the commentator said that was on the cusp of a red. Here's Van Hecker. Van Hecker again now. Dunk. Ayari, Baleba. Now Kadioglu. Baleba making a run down the left wing here. Joe Rodon comes in with a good challenge. How is that a free kick, ref? Do you know what? It's a spit in the face. You're already losing 3-0. It's a spit in the face when Joe Rodon's just going to cross. Perfectly normal shoulder-to-shoulder standing tackle. Yeah, come on. He's just jumped over. Minte with the ball in the box, headed away to Gomez on the edge. That's a really good save. It's going to be 4-0 nearly. No, cleared away in the end. Really good save in the end by Lucas Perry, by the way. It's a really good save by Lucas Perry, that. There's nobody marking the guy on the edge of the box. Clive, honestly, I've never met someone so negative. When it's 0-0 or whatever, you're perfectly fine and reasonable. But as soon as we go behind, you're just like horrendous. Like, we all know that Brighton are a good side. They're well coached. They've got good players, and they've done well last season and the last couple of years. Brighton have always been a decent side in the Premier League. But now they've gone to like a next level of, they're not just the team who barely stays up every season on 9 wins. So, like, just chill out. Like, it's over now. There's no point making things up about it now. Apparently Leeds are going to make a substitution here. James Justin is coming on. James Justin on for Jaden Bogle. Okafur off for Harrison. Anton Stack, James Justin. Back now to Perry. Well, Perry's just had to send that into touch. Yeah, it's been poor. Cleared away by Goodmanson. Headed away by Dunk. Jack Harrison's given the ball away. Makes sense for that to be his first touch. I mean, what planet does Jack Harrison live on that he thinks that he's better than somebody like Jorginho Rutter, who came down to the Championship with us? That's it. He had to stay up in the Premier League and play for Everton because there's no way on earth he's any good compared to Jorginho Rutter. Corner then to Brighton here. Headed away by Biel. Now Welbeck. Now Ayari. Headed away by Rodon. Here's Gomez. Out wide to Minte. Minte crosses it into the box. Headed over by Joe Rodon, and it's going to be a corner again to Brighton here. Commentators just said Joe Rodon looks supremely fed up. Joe Rodon always looks upset. Ball into the box. We This is the first of 4 games away from home before we have our next home game, by the way. Substitute for Brighton. Diego Gomez is coming off, and that Watson fella that played for scored the goal that got Sunderland up is playing. He's coming on as well. I know that we book trends a lot in negative fashions, but Clive saying we're sleepwalking towards relegation. No club who's got 11 points after 9 games, which we managed to get, has ever been relegated. I don't know, there's always a first, but the statistics are on our side. Just a hopeful ball forward there from James Justin. All the way through to Verbruggen. Is Van Hecker. Now Dunk. Van Hecker again. Out wide to Minte. Ball forward here towards Watson. Tackled by Rodon there. Still going here though. Simas. Ayari makes a shot there that Perry had to make a very good save. Rodon's hurt himself as well here. That means nothing. Yeah, but you could say anything means nothing with that logic. Like, just stop being so negative. We're losing, yeah. We know we're going to lose most of our games in the Premier League this season. Good save by Perry, that one. Here's Joe Rodon charging forward. Doesn't look too injured, but he's fouled there, and it's going to be a Leeds free kick. Here's Ampadu. Now Rodon. Now Anton Stack with the ball down the line towards Dan James, who see Dunk's just on everything. Now Dan James with the ball through towards Lucas Mecha. Mecha's onside here. Goes to shoot! Oh, it's a really good save by Verbruggen. Anton Stack. Stack still going in the box here. Goes to shoot. Saved by Verbruggen. Away by Van Hecker. And it's going to be a Leeds corner kick. How have we not scored that? How can Lucas Mecha be in the position that he was in there and end up that wide? He took himself so wide. Anton Stack did well as well to get another shot off. Stack them with the corner kick. That's going to be a bloody foul against Rodon there. Joe Rodon's going to kill someone if another decision goes against him. Yeah, Rodon headed the back of Thingy's head. Joe Rodon's going to try and deal with that. Here's Ampadu. James Justin does well there, but fouled by Watson. It was completely different. It was an anomaly that whole season. There was no fans in the stadium. It was like playing training, and no one was ready for our style of football. And then we got found out the second season. We didn't adapt. Here's Jorginho. Here's Kadioglu. Van Hecker. Van Hecker again. Now Dunk. Ball down the line here towards Watson. Justin's going to be able to see that one out for a goal kick. Substitute for Brighton. Now Yankuba Minte is going off. Here's Van Hecker. Headed away by Goodmanson. Metcher tries to win that one. Straight back to Van Hecker. Now Verbruggen again. Kadioglu. Poor Dan James is just running between players trying to press, but like he's on his own, so Brighton are just bringing on teenager after teenager here. Goodmanson with a throw in here. Clearance there by Goodmanson up towards Dan James. Dunk's done so well there, just to head it back to Verbruggen. 4 minutes added on to this one. Here come Brighton over on the left wing. Costulas. It's going to be a Leeds throw-in. Yeah, people have always got... people always like to moan, but they don't ever have any solutions. Here's Ampadu. Goodmanson. Also, let's not forget that Daniel Farke asked for a striker. Daniel Farke asked for another creative midfielder, so a Harry Wilson, and he also asked for a decent striker. We were looking at strikers that were like 30 odd million pounds, and all we've had is Calvert-Lewin on a free. So we aren't giving him. We haven't given him the tools that he asked for. Good ball by Anton Stack towards the back post. Baleba, in the end, it's tried to volley it, but it's going to be a corner kick to Leeds. Anton Stack then. Headed away by Van Hecker. Here's Harrison. Now Aronson. Harrison out wide here to Anton Stack. Anton Stack here gone past his man. Drops it off to Aronson. Free kick to Leeds. A couple of subs from Brighton here. Jorginho, Rutter and Yassin Ayari are going off. You want to be on about 20 points by January, don't you? And if we can get up to 20 points by January, then it's not. Joe Knight and Oriola are coming on. Two youngsters. Yeah, let's see where we are in a couple of weeks. Biol just heads that one wide. Yeah. How can the board not want to score goals? Here's Metcher. That's going to be a Brighton throw-in. That's going to be the end of the game as soon as the whistle goes in a second. That's the end then. At least you can get away from Clive pecking all our heads. Still getting a little bit overexcited about Bielsa 5 years later. Right. Yeah, he's lost the plot, honestly. Thanks everybody for watching. There'll be a match reaction out soon and then a tactical preview of the Forest game as well, talking about the way that they're going to set up and play against Leeds. So, like I said, thanks for watching. Yeah, I'll be doing a match reaction now and uploading it. See you all in the next one.